Today in this 2017 Ford Focus, we'll be having a look at and showing you how to install the Roadmaster Universal High Power Diode Wiring Kit, part number RM-152. Here's what our diodes look like installed. Now, many of our customers have asked us which wiring is the best option available for them without causing harm to the vehicle, especially on a vehicle that has a separate turn signal bulb than the brake light and tail light. By using these diodes here, we don't have to worry about the vehicle having a separate turn signal than the brake light. This will turn our vehicle almost into a trailer where the tail light and brake light and turn signal can all be ran off of one bulb. These diode packs allow us to tap into our vehicle's factory lighting system without having to worry about causing any damage from electrical backfeed from the motorhome into the components on our vehicle. The diodes prevent the electricity from flowing towards any of the electrical components. It only allows the electricity to go to the light bulb, thus illuminating it and protecting your vehicle at the same time. What this allows us to do is use what our vehicle already has from the factory. So we don't have to worry about adding an additional bulb to our vehicle with a bulb and socket wiring kit or using magnetic tow lights. It's a simple process of just hooking up the umbilical between your motorhome and the front of your Focus, and there's nothing else you have to worry about. For this particular flat tow setup, we use a Roadmaster EZ5 base plate kit, a Roadmaster Universal High Power Diode Wiring Kit. We also used a Roadmaster Automatic Battery Disconnect. We use a Roadmaster Stoplight Switch. We use a Roadmaster Sterling All-Terrain Tow Bar. And for our braking system, we use an SMI Stay and Play Duo. In some applications, you may or may not need a high-low adapter to ensure that your tow bar is within the specified range. We have several different options available for you on our website depending upon your needs. Now that we've gone over some features, we'll show you how to get it installed. To begin our install, we have our wiring sticking out the front of our vehicle, wrapped inside a provided wire loom. I used some tape to seal it together. Now, we routed this wire behind the fascia while it was off when we did our base plate. So now we'll separate all four of our wires at the front. Now we'll take our 6-way connector. This came with our tow bar. We'll take off the dust cover on the back and we'll slide our wires through. Now we'll strip back a little insulation from all of our wires. We'll take our 6-way connector now and we'll loosen this terminal that says GD, and that's for ground. With the set screw loose, we'll now take our white wire and we'll stick it inside that terminal and we'll tighten the screw down to secure the wire. Once we have it tight, we'll pull back and make sure it's secure. The terminal next to it's marked TM, and that's for your tail lights and marker lights. That will get our brown wire. We'll skip one terminal, go over to this one. It's marked RT. That's for our right turn signal and right brake light. And that'll get our green wire. That leaves us for our yellow wire, and that's for our left turn signal and left brake light. That'll go to the terminal marked LT. And this is what it looks like with all of our connections made. Now here's a tech tip. I like to take some dielectric grease, which we have available on our website. We flood the back of our connector. This will help better protect it from the elements in case any moisture was to get inside. Then we can slide our dust cover down until it stops on this ridge. We'll now take some electrical tape and we'll tape the cover to our connector and we'll continue wrapping down until all of our colored wires are covered up. Now our connector will attach to our base plate's prongs here and here using the screws that came with our base plate. Our wire comes up behind our fascia, comes up behind our headlight, comes up here. It's on top of our air box right now. We left a little slack in this area so we can tuck it behind the air box after we make some connections to it at a later point in time. It goes down over our transmission making sure we avoid any moving parts and sources of heat. Here's where our wire comes down after it leaves our transmission and engine bay, goes over our subframe. We stuck it inside this channel here to help keep it away from the exhaust and protect it from any road debris that may get kicked up. Runs back to the end of the channel and comes out. Brought it underneath our heat shield for our exhaust. Comes around. We have it zip tied to the heat shield here. Goes over our rear subframe, making sure we clear any of the moving suspension components and keep it as far away from the exhaust as possible. Comes out here. And then we have it zip tied right to the driver's side of our bumper beam area where it's right behind the fascia. Now we'll open our rear hatch. Now behind our taillight assembly, we'll find a cover. Just kind of pull it towards us. We'll set it aside. Now behind that cover, we'll find one of our wing nuts that holds our taillight assembly in place. There's another one up here in this opening. We'll unscrew these. Now we can grab our taillight assembly and we'll pull it away from the vehicle. As you can see, with it pulled away now, we have several different bulbs here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. The only one that we need to concern ourselves with is this one right here. This one that has purple, yellow, and black wires going to it. This is the one we'll be making our connections with. We'll go ahead and unplug all of these for right now though. To do that, you just twist it, and you can pull it away. We need to unclip the wiring harness from the taillight assembly. In order to do that, there's a tab right here. Kind of can push down on it and it'll pull away. Here's the tab here. So you push down, you can pull it away. Now we can set our taillight assembly aside where it won't get damaged. Okay, now we have our headlights turned on and we're looking to see which wires for our taillights. It should be this purple wire, but we'll double check with a test light. You can pick up a test light on our website if you need one. And as you can see, that is the wire we need to make our connection to. Now we'll cut that purple wire right in the middle, and we'll strip back some insulation from both ends. Now we'll take our blue spade connectors and we'll crimp these onto the purple wires that we just stripped back. Take one of our diode packs now. The output side will go to the end of the wire closest to our bulb. And the other purple wire will go to one of the input sides. Doesn't matter which one. Now we'll have an assistant step on our brake pedal and we'll determine which one of our wires is for our brake light. It should be this yellow wire, but we're going to verify with our test light. Okay, perfect. Our assistant will get off the brake pedal now, and we can make our connections. Okay, we'll now cut the yellow wire in the middle and strip back insulation. And we'll crimp on blue connectors again. Output side of the diode pack will go towards the bulb. And the other end will go to one of the inputs. So here's what it looks like with all of our factory connections put back into place. Now we can make our connections with the tow package wiring. We stuck down a pull wire behind our fascia, and we'll use this to pull up our 4-pole wiring. We'll just tape the two together with some electrical tape. We'll now separate our 4 wires like we did on the front. Okay, now that we have all of our wires separated, our green wire here we can drop back down below. This will go over to our passenger side. Okay, our white wire, we can measure off a few inches until we have enough to connect via ring terminal to our sheet metal. We'll save the excess because we may need it. Strip off some insulation. We'll now take our ring terminal, stick it over the white wire, and we'll crimp it into place. We'll attach this to our vehicle sheet metal using our provided self-tapping screw. That'll give us a nice solid ground connection. We now have about a foot of our yellow and brown wire sticking out from behind the taillight assembly. We'll cut off the excess. Strip back the insulation from both wires. Now, depending on how you have your wires routed, you may need to do the following. Our brown wire that we cut off, we're going to tie this together with the brown wire here, and this will provide our taillight signal to the passenger side. But in order to get over there, you may need to extend it, which is what we did. We used our leftover white wire from our ground wire to combine the two, and we used a heat shrink butt connector, which we have available on our website. So we'll take the end of our extended brown wire now, on the white end, strip back some insulation, and we'll twist that together with the brown wire here. This way we'll have a wire that'll connect to the diode pack over here, and then one that'll go to the passenger side. For this wire, we'll use our yellow spade connector, and we'll crimp it down. We'll plug that into the other input side on our diode pack that's on the purple wire. We'll place on a blue connector onto our yellow wire, crimp it, and we'll plug this into the other input on our diode pack that's on the yellow wire. Now we'll peel off the double-sided tape from our diode packs, and we'll stick them together. We went ahead and dropped down our extended brown wire just like we did with the green wire. Now that all of the connections are made on our driver's side, we can reinstall our bulbs. Put a cover back on. Next, we went ahead and repeated the same process to remove our passenger side taillight assembly. Now we've turned on our taillights again to determine which wire is for our taillight signal. It should be the purple wire again, but we're still going to test with our test light. Okay, so it is the purple wire. We'll cut our purple wire now, and we'll strip back the insulation from both ends. And we'll crimp on our blue connectors. Take one of our diode packs and plug it in, making sure the output side goes towards our bulb. We have an assistant stepping on our brake pedal again, and we're going to test which wires for our brake light. It should be this yellow wire, but again, we always want to double check before we make any electrical connections. Okay, we have verified it is our yellow wire. We'll now cut our yellow wire. I like to point out, I'm cutting our wires right where we used our tester on them. That way we don't have to worry about there being any punctures in our wire. Let's strip back some insulation. And we'll attach our blue connectors. Okay, now that we have both of our connectors crimped on to our yellow wire, we'll now install our final diode pack, making sure that the output goes towards our light bulb. Here's our green and our extended brown wire. We routed this over towards our passenger side, going over our bumper beam, making sure we kept it away from our exhaust. And then we have it zip tied up to our body here on this hole. We've already dropped down our pull wire, and we've taped the end of our wires to it so we can pull it up behind our taillight assembly. Now, just like we did on the other side, we'll cut off about 1 foot of our green and brown wire. That way we have enough slack to make our connections. Strip back the insulation on both wires, and we'll crimp on our connectors. The green one will go to the diode pack with the yellow wire, and the brown one will go to the diode pack with the purple wire. And this is what it looks like with our connections made. Now we'll stick our 2 diodes together. Now we can plug all of our bulbs back into our taillight assembly. Now that we have all of our bulbs back in place, we can reinstall our taillight assembly. And now we'll test out our wiring. We have our 7 to 6 coiled wire here, which is available separately on our website, plugged in to a tester, and we have it plugged in to the front of the vehicle now. And we'll test all of our functions and make sure it works properly. You can also just hook up to your motorhome and test it that way as well. Okay, we'll start by testing out our tail lights. As you can see, both of those are working properly. We'll do our left turn signal now. As you can see, that's working as well. Now we'll try out our brake lights. As you'll notice, both of those are working great. And that leaves us with our right turn signal. We'll try that out now. And as you see, that's working as well. And that completes our look at and showing you how to install the Roadmaster Universal High Power Diode Wiring Kit, part number RM-152, on this 2017 Ford Focus.